Okay, this week we are going to be talking about religion, rituals, and belief systems. This is chapter 14 in your textbook if you're taking the class online this semester. And I really hope you get a lot out of this lecture. It's going to be a bit different than what's in your textbook. For the first section, the second section will be more closely aligned with your textbook. But your textbook, being an applied book, doesn't talk really at all about how we define religion beyond more than a few paragraphs. So I want to talk with you in this first section about how we define religion anthropologically and how it's been defined historically. And then we'll talk about how your book defines it, and then we'll kind of establish a working definition that we'll use in this section of the course and in the rest of the course. Okay, so to get started, how do we think about religious beliefs? Do they have a purpose in society? What is the function? Why are they existing? And I do want to point out here, before we really get into the meat of the discussion, that religion is one of our cultural universals. This just means that religion is present in all human societies. This doesn't mean that every single human is religious or is part of a religious organization, but this does mean that as a whole, if we're looking at the entire society, every single human society has a religion of some sort. They'll vary in style and intensity and how they're used, but every single society does have religious belief, okay? So keep that in mind as we talk about religion. It's hard to kind of step out of your own personal experience with religion to observe or study or think about other societies or other people's religious beliefs. But I want you to really try to do that this week and try to step out of your own religious history and think about religion in a broad context. So things like voodoo are religious beliefs. Christianity and Western religions, obviously, you're probably thinking about those when you think about religion. But I want you to think about a large variety of religions and a large variety of religious beliefs and behaviors. Okay, and so all of these beliefs sort of offer a roadmap for behavior. And this is a quote from the text we use in the face-to-face class. But these beliefs give us sort of a way to think about how to behave and what is appropriate in our culture and what is expected. Okay. Our initial reaction to foreign religions, when people began traveling or moving around the globe more steadily, we start to see reactions to foreign religions, so not Western religions, but things like animism or voodoo or other smaller scale religions. They were kind of viewed as irrational or very simplistic, maybe even a bit silly. And then anthropology kind of comes along and starts to apply our holistic, systematic, and scientific study to the study of religions. Just like we've studied every other aspect of culture up until that point, then we start to apply that same methodology and that same theoretical approach to religion. And we start thinking about it very systematically and very scientifically. Okay, and this starts to reveal a lot of complexity and diversity in beliefs. And so instead of viewing these religions as very simplistic, we actually were able to uncover a lot of complexity built into those religions and into those religious organizations. Okay, and so then we have to start thinking about, well, we're seeing religion in all of these different cultures with all of these different people. How do we begin to define religion? Okay, so it's very different around the world. And very strange maybe, coming from an outside perspective. So how do we start to define religion? And so the next section I want to talk to you about different ways we've defined religion throughout time with a few different scholars whose names you've already heard, except for maybe one. Okay, so we're going to talk about those in the next video.